My name is Emily Carter, and I never believed in ghosts or supernatural things until the night my phone rang at exactly 11:47 p.m. It was raining outside in Portland, Oregon, the kind of rain that feels lonely and heavy, tapping softly against my apartment window, making the entire city feel silent and isolated. I had moved into that apartment only a month earlier because it was cheap and close to my workplace. The building was old, the walls were thin, and there was something about it that always made me feel watched. But I ignored that feeling and blamed it on stress. That night I was sitting on my couch wrapped in a blanket, scrolling through my phone, while a crime podcast played quietly in the background. My mind was drifting when suddenly my phone rang and the screen showed unknown caller. I stared at it for a moment, unsure whether to answer. But curiosity won over fear, and I picked up the call and said, "Hello." At first there was only silence. Then I heard breathing, heavy breathing that felt too close to the microphone. My chest tightened, and I repeated, "Hello." Then a soft female voice whispered, "Emily, don't hang up." My heart nearly stopped because I had not told my name to anyone. I asked, "How do you know my name?" And the voice paused before saying, "You lived on Riverwood Lane when you were 12. My stomach dropped, because Riverwood Lane was the street where I grew up. The memories came rushing back like a storm, and I whispered, "Who are you?" There was another pause, and then in a trembling, sorrowful voice, she said, "I'm the girl who disappeared." The words sent a chill down my spine, and I barely slept that night. The next morning I searched online, Riverwood Lane missing girl, and instantly found the case of Megan Harper, a 12-year-old girl who vanished in 2009 without a trace, no body, no suspects, no answers. I remembered Megan clearly now. She lived 2 houses away from mine, quiet, shy, always alone. I remembered seeing her walking to school, hugging her backpack tightly, like she was afraid of something. And I remembered the last time I saw her, standing outside my house, staring at me silently. That evening, at exactly 11:47 p.m., my phone rang again with unknown caller. My hands trembled as I answered, and she whispered, "Emily." I asked, "Why are you calling me?" And she replied, "Because you were there that night." I told her, "I was just a child and didn't know what happened." But she said, "You saw." Suddenly, flashes of memory hit me. A scream in the dark, hurried footsteps, a door slamming shut, my own heart racing as I ran home in fear. I said, "I don't want to remember." But she whispered, "I need you to." The calls continued every night at the same exact time. She never yelled or threatened me. She only whispered calmly and sadly, as if she had been waiting years to speak. She reminded me of things I had buried deep in my mind: the abandoned house at the end of Riverwood Lane, the broken basement window, the smell of mold and damp concrete, sound of someone crying behind a locked door. One night, she said, "You left me," and I cried, saying I was scared and didn't know what to do. And she replied softly, "So was I." Her words felt heavier than any accusation, and soon strange things began happening in my apartment. Lights flickered for no reason. Cold drafts brushed against my neck. Soft footsteps echoed when I was alone. One night, I woke up around 3 a.m., hearing faint whispering near my bed, like someone was speaking right beside me. But when I turned, no one was there, only my phone lighting up with a missed call. Another night, her tone changed and sounded closer and stronger as she whispered, "Emily, I want you to come back." I asked back where, and she said to where it happened. My phone displayed an address that I hadn't seen in years: an abandoned house on the outskirts of town, a place no one talked about anymore. I said I can't, but she replied, "You must. You owe me the truth." 2 nights later, I drove to that address. Worse than I remembered. with boarded windows, peeling paint, and overgrown weeds swallowing the yard. The porch creaked beneath my feet as I stepped closer, and the front door was slightly open, as if waiting for me. A cold breeze brushed past me, like the house itself was breathing. Inside, the air felt heavy and thick, as if the walls remembered pain. Dust coated the floor, wallpaper peeled like shedding skin, and the silence felt alive. My phone vibrated with an incoming call, and my hands shook as I answered. She whispered, "Go downstairs." My stomach twisted as I walked down the hallway, where a narrow staircase led into darkness. Each step creaked as I descended into the basement. The smell of damp earth and decay filled the air. The walls were stained. The ceiling felt low and suffocating, and the atmosphere felt wrong. My flashlight flickered as I scanned the room, and then I saw it. In the corner there was a small, dusty child's shoe. My breath caught in my throat, and a wave of memories crashed into me. Megan crying, a man yelling, a door slamming shut, my younger self running home terrified and silent. I sobbed, saying I could have saved you, and she replied softly, "Yes." Suddenly the lights flickered violently, and the temperature dropped. My breath turned shaky, and then a whisper brushed against my ear, not through the phone this time, but directly behind me, saying, "Now you remember?" I spun around, but no one was there. My phone was still connected, and her final words echoed through the receiver. "Thank you for answering, Emily. Now it's your turn to stay." Suddenly the basement door slammed shut above me. Darkness swallowed the room, and my heart began racing. Then I heard it. Breathing, slow, heavy, close, just like the very first.